everyone, a very pleasant day to you. Here are the top stories this hour. Federal government seeks fresh $1.7 billion World Bank loan despite announcing revenue growth. Former President Goodluck Jonathan says Nigerian politics is full of traitors and liars. President Donald Trump seeks to rebrand Department of Defense as Department of War. We're glad to have you. Welcome to Fastness News Port Harcourt. I am Becky Usoro. Now the news in details. The federal government is preparing to secure fresh financing from the World Bank to the tune of $1.75 billion, even after celebrating a sharp increase in national revenues. Recall that President Bola Tinubu has on Tuesday declared that Nigeria had already surpassed its 2025 revenue targets. The presidency, in its clarification of the president's claim, said Nigeria racked in 20.5 trillion naira between January and August 2025, representing a 40.5% jump compared to 14.6 trillion. Recorded in the same period last year, according to the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the surge was largely fueled by non-oil revenues, which now contribute 75% of total government collections. Despite this strong fiscal performance, and officials confirmed that borrowing would continue to breach funding shortfalls in critical sectors. Documents from the World Bank indicate that the Washington's based lender is expected to approve $1.75 billion in new loans for Nigeria before year-end. The funds will be channeled into agriculture, health, digital infrastructure, and small business financing. Among the projects earmarked for support is the $500 million Nigerian Sustainable Agriculture Value Chains for Growth project, designed to boost farm productivity and rural development. Also listed is a $500 million digital infrastructure program to expand connectivity and drive technology-driven growth, alongside a $250 million health security initiative and a $500 million inclusive finance project for micro, small, and medium enterprises. The anticipated loans, currently at different stages of review and negotiations, show that the country continues to rely on external borrowing. According to World Bank records, the country has already secured $8.4 billion in fresh credit lines over the past 2 years. You're also listening to news on Fastness News Port Harcourt. Let's go for a short break. When we return, we'll bring you more on details on former President Goodluck Jonathan saying Nigerian politics is full of traitors and liars. On the foreign news, President Donald Trump seeks to rebrand Department of Defense as Department of War. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. Many thanks for staying tuned. We now bring you the rest of the news. Former President of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, yesterday said that Nigerians' political atmosphere is full of betrayals and lies. Jonathan stated this in Benin City during the 70th birthday ceremony of his former Chief of Staff and former Deputy Governor of Edo State, Chief Mike Ogiadome. The ceremony attracted many dignitaries, including former Governor Loki Igbenedion, Professor Osareme Osumbo, and Adams Oshimole, and Ibrahim Dakwambo of Gombe State. Others included former Deputy Governor of the state, Reverend Peter Obadan, Pius Odubu, Marvelous Omobayo, Chief Judge of Edo State, Daniel Okumbowa, Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Blessing Abebaku, who led other members of the Assembly, traditional rulers, amongst others. Jonathan said Ogiadome was an ally that can be trusted at all times. When I became president, then post-presidency, one of the few friends that could give up their necks for me is Mike. You know politics in Nigeria standard is about betrayals. You find it difficult to see somebody who will say the same thing in the morning and in the evening. I've witnessed a lot of betrayals, especially in my 2015 election, and Mike is somebody who will take a bullet on my behalf. He is somebody that you can take his word to the bank. Most other politicians, you cannot take their words to the bank. They will tell you something, the next hour, they are saying another, the former Nigerian president stated. On his part, the deputy governor of Edo State, Dennis Idahosa, who represented Governor Mandi Okobolu, said the foundation of Ogiadome led as deputy is what is still being followed. While Lucky Ibenidio said he had no reservation handing over the affairs of the state to Ogiadome as his deputy governor when he needed to travel abroad. Also speaking, the former governor of the state, Adams Oshimole, said whenever he discussed politics with the celebrant, he always told him that wherever Jonathan is, that is where he would be, commending his wife, Louisia, for being a dependable wife. Moving now on to the foreign news, U.S. President Donald Trump is to sign an executive order on Friday that directs the Department of Defense to be known as the Department of War. The move would restore a name the agency last held in the 1940s, and the aim is to project strength and resolve. The responsibility of creating executive departments rests with the U.S. Congress, meaning that their involvement may be required to legally change the department's name. The White House is yet to say how much a permanent rebrand would cost. The Department of Defense, DoD, which oversees the U.S. Armed Services, is a successor to the War Department, which was first established as a cabinet-level agency in 1789 and existed until 1947. The executive order will allow the DoD to use the new name as a secondary title, and for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to be known as Secretary of War. It says the name Department of War conveys a stronger message of readiness and reserve compared to Department of Defense, which emphasizes only defensive capabilities. The order also instructs Hegseth to recommend and include legislative and executive actions to move towards a permanent renaming of the department. We suggest Trump will seek congressional approval. Democratic Senator Andy Kim of New Jersey said the renaming was a childish idea, adding, Americans want to prevent wars, not taught them. We now bring you the highlights of the top stories so far. Federal government seeks fresh $1.75 billion World Bank loan despite announcing revenue growth. Former President Goodluck Jonathan says Nigerian politics is full of traitors and liars. On the foreign scene, brought to you, the President Donald Trump seeks to rebrand the Department of Defense as Department of War. That's all on the news this hour. Do remember, democracy is a slow process of stumbling to the right decision instead of giving straightforward to the wrong one. I am Becky Usara. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.